Patriot. It's Saturday, March, I don't remember, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, something like that. And I wanted to make a live video this morning. I just watched a video of Andrew Sheets filing a complaint or making a complaint with either Charlotte County Sheriff officer or Punta Gorda police officer about me protesting against him last Saturday at the farmers market in Punta Gorda. Andrew states that I specifically went out there that day to protest him or to stalk him or to harass him. Basically, I just would like to say that it is your right as a citizen to go out and to show your dissent towards a public figure or somebody who politically ran for office, who was a candidate for a political office in that town. Good morning, everybody. Andrew Sheets ran for Charlotte County Sheriff. He was on the ticket. Andrew Sheets made himself a politician. Just as much as Andrew likes to say that he has the right to redress the police department, we, the people, have the right to redress political candidates and what they stand up for and what they are campaigning to do if they get elected into office. Same thing we do with presidential elections, governor races, sheriff races. Andrew Sheets ran for public office. He lost. The election is over. But does that mean Andrew Sheets will not run for public office again? I don't know. Is Andrew Sheets a public figure? Yes, Andrew Sheets has made himself a public figure by his multiple YouTube channels, by his multiple Facebook pages, by his multiple TikTok, he has multiple social media platforms. Andrew Sheets has made himself a public figure. He is not a private citizen that is just, trying to mind his own business. He's not a private citizen that is trying to stay away from the public sphere. And, he is actively out and about. And it just so happens that he's out there every Saturday. He admits that he's out there every Saturday. I went to the farmer's market. I did some shopping. I was actually headed to meet somebody up in Port Charlotte. And you know what? After watching a video of this politician calling a 9-year-old girl a Nazi, and, Andrew was served with breach of peace. I've seen another video of him standing on the same corner, Andrew Sheets standing on the same corner, and he had a shirt that said, "Fuck the police." And he can take the video down. I already recorded it. But a woman came up and was just like, shame on you. That's an offensive shirt. And it's pretty much what everybody says is, I bet when you need the police, you're going to call the police. He started going off on this woman and started calling her a cunt. I mean, I'll replay the video. He just called her cunt. He just said cunt, cunt, cunt. He was yelling at the top of his lungs at this woman, calling her a cunt because she had a problem with what he was wearing, for what he stood for. And again, this is somebody who ran for political office. This is a politician. This is a public figure. Andrew is not, like I said, a private citizen who's trying to maintain anonymity or maintain privacy. He puts himself out in the public domain on a daily basis with his social media, with his protesting. So you as a citizen have a right to show your dissent, to protest and show your dissent against these politicians, against these public figures. The day after that Saturday, I went out there and called Andrew out, told him he was a piece of shit and he was an online bully for making a video and calling a 9-year-old girl a Nazi. You know, and Andy said that there's a repetition of me and he's trying to do a stalking charge. You know, I've only met, I think that was probably maybe the 4th time I've ever met Andy. And they were all at public events. 2 of them I didn't even know he was gonna be there. It was a Black Lives Matter rally. One was at the farmer's market. I don't even remember. The other one was at court when he took me to court. And he lost. He lost horribly. He blamed the judge. He blamed his lawyer. Andrew likes to blame everybody else except himself. He brings this on himself. And when somebody else exercises their right to free speech to show their dissent towards Andrew, he doesn't like it. He thinks it's stalking. He thinks it's harassment. A lot of people do it. That Saturday, he had a sign which literally said, "These are all the Karens," you know, a derogatory word for a middle-aged white woman who gets easily triggered. He literally took a picture of like 16 people from his videos that said something to him while he was out protesting. And I mean, that's stalking in its own. He had a picture said, do you know who these Karens are? Why do you have a picture of private citizens? Are you looking for those people? You want to charge those people for saying fuck you because, you know, you walk around with a shirt that says fuck the police? And it's the things that Andrew says and does that makes, you know, that I have a problem with. You know, somebody who ran for office, for sheriff, you know, the next day we lost a Tampa police officer. It was a head-on collision up in Tampa. And Andrew posted a video. It's just news footage of the accident and the reporting on that officer. And Andrew literally put on the title, "Freedom was planted." And this is what I have a problem with Andy. Whenever an officer dies in the line of duty, he says freedom is planted, which means that officer's body going into the ground is some kind of form of freedom for the American people. No, that's not. We lost a hero. That Tampa police officer who just died was a veteran. Was served on the force for a long time, had a family, and Andrew said that freedom was planted and that hell is going to welcome that officer home. He said that cop is going to hell. That veteran who served our country is going to hell now because he died in the line of duty being a police officer. And Andy, a politician who ran for Charlotte County Sheriff, said that officer's body is now freedom and that officer's going to hell. Now, me personally, I get a little excited about that because I disagree with that statement 100%. And I believe somebody who likes to go out in the public sphere, in the public, at a farmer's market, walk on, you know, in Punta Gorda with a shirt that says fuck the police, and somebody who, you know, who does this, I think that you as a citizen should have the right to redress him, and you should be able to speak your piece and show your dissent. Did I ever touch Andrew? No, I've never touched Andrew. Did I ever say I was going to inflict any bodily harm? No. Andrew has a problem with other people's words. His words, perfectly fine. He can say and do whatever he wants. But if you show your dissent or you address him, he has a problem with it. He doesn't like being called out. I wish more people would call him out. If he's out there today, I'm not going to be out there. I got other things to do. Like I said, I don't plan my day around Andrew. I would just happen to go to that farmer's market that day. I just kind of happened to, you know, I didn't know if he was going to show up or not. And of course he did. And it was more ironic because he had a sign, like I said, that said, Karens who hate free speech. Well, Andrew, you're a Karen. You were the definition of your own sign. You're a Karen. You hate free speech. You hate other people's free speech. You hate other people's free speech when it's against you. But it's fine. And what does he do? What does Andrew do? He calls the police. The same police officers that he says when their bodies, when they get killed in the line of duty, is freedom when it gets planted. He will call and he will ask them, I need your help. Please help me. I want to make an incident. I want to charge this guy. He does not want anybody to have the ability to redress him. It's almost like cancel culture. They're allowed to say and do what they want to do. But when you want to redress them, show your dissent, protest them, politicians, public figures, Andrew says, no, that's not allowed. And I want to charge Gary Snow with a crime. You know, did I get loud on that day? Yes. I called the Punta Gorda Police Department and said, hey, if I, committed a crime, breach of peace, just let me know. I'll come in and pay the fine. I'm sorry. But, people like Andrew who, attack a 9-year-old girl online. And this guy's posted videos of my underage daughter online. So I have a problem with Andrew. He's mailed things to my house. He's drove by my house. He mailed me a swastika. It's one of the reasons why he lost in court. Andrew loves to call everybody a Nazi. He found out my address and he started mailing swastikas to my house. Andrew has some mental issues, and it's the point proven. Somebody who says fuck the police, somebody who says that when an officer dies in the line of duty, freedom is planted. Why would that same person call a police officer every time he needs help? Why do that? I just don't understand it. And the police will always show up no matter what, because that's their job. They took an oath to serve and protect the community. And Andrew knows this. And that's why Andrew attacks the police officers. That's why a lot of these guys do, because these police officers have their hands tied behind their back. They can't protest Andy. They can't say, hey, I disagree with what you're saying about, my brothers and sisters who've died in the line of duty. It's not freedom when we go to a funeral. And I say I didn't meet Andy, but for the first time that I ever was made aware of Andy was at the funeral for Fort Myers police officer Adam Jobbers Miller. Andy went to the funeral at the Hertz Arena for Jobbers Miller to do his cop watching. And that right there bothered me. There was no reason for you to go there and to do that. And he did some interviews with some cops, he did some video, but there was no reason for you to go to the funeral of a local police officer, which you say is freedom is planted, and then ask other cops questions. Andy's always nice in front of the police, but when he does his social media, he is 100% anti-cop. He always says, well, there's good cops out there. Are those good cops that you talk about, Andy, the same ones that you say is freedom if they die in the line of duty? You're an oxymoron. You make no sense. And I have the right as a citizen to protest a public figure such as yourself. I'll say it again, and hopefully the Charlotte County Sheriff is watching this, the Punta Gorda Police is watching this. I, William Garrett Snow, have the right to show my dissent towards a public figure and a politician such as Andrew Bryant Sheets. Andrew does not hide himself. He makes himself, open to the public every weekend. So it's not stalking. I'm not out there looking for him. I've only met him 4 times. They were all on coincidence. And if I so choose to know where this gentleman's going to be, this politician, this public figure, and just by chance he does show up, I have the right to redress him. I have the right to protest him. I have the right to call him out. I have the right. A lot of these First Amendment auditors, these cop watchers say that they're journalists. Well, I'm a journalist too. I have a social media platform, the People's Patriot YouTube video. I've done some investigation into Andy. Why? Because he ran for Charlotte County Sheriff. He is a politician. He ran for a public office, for a government office. He is a public figure. You have the right to do some investigation work into him. I can do public records requests on him. I can do whatever I want. He is not a private citizen who is trying to maintain his privacy. He puts himself out there in the public domain, and we have the right to address him whenever we see him. You know, we're stalking. I mean, are news reporters, are the paparazzi stalkers? Do paparazzi stalk, Hollywood actors? Yeah, because they want to get their picture. They want to ask them questions. TMZ, are the reporters for TMZ, are they stalkers? Are they out there? I'm sure they ran into a couple of Hollywood celebrities several times, more than 3 times. That's not stalking. That's a journalist trying to get an interview with a public figure or a politician, or like in Hollywood, an actor, and they want to get some questions answered. I want to do the same thing. I want to know why Andy calls the police every time he needs help, but yet, says that freedom is planted when that officer dies in the line of duty. I wanted to ask Andy, why did you post a video about a 9-year-old girl who gave Blue Lives Matter plaques or flags to police officers? Why did you call her a Nazi, a 9-year-old little girl? Why did you call her a Nazi? Why are you an online bully? And you have the right to do that. I encourage more people to go out there and do that. If you see Andy, don't physically assault him. Don't, some people, said some verbal threats towards Andy. Well, I don't do that. I never made a verbal threat towards Andy. I never said I was going to do any physically bodily harm to Andy. I just told him basically, fuck you, and you're an asshole. You're a piece of shit, and I disagree with everything that you say. And if you think that you're allowed to come out here on this corner in Punta Gorda at the farmer's market, which he's not even allowed to go into the farmer's market because he's trespassed. He's trespassed from every government building. He's even trespassed from a Walmart. You know why he's trespassed from a Walmart? Because the cops had a shop with a cop during Christmas. The cops, Punta Gorda, Charlotte County Sheriffs, took kids to Walmart to go shopping for Christmas presents. And Andy went there to do his cop watching thing. And he started talking to these kids. And one of these kids had a disability. And he just crosses the line way too much. And they trespassed him from the Walmart. I don't blame him. Andy is out there looking for YouTube content on a daily basis. He should be at work with his wife cleaning houses. But again, this is what these First Amendment auditors do. This is how they try to make their side hustle, their side money. And this is how Andy wants to gain some notoriety. This is how he wants, maybe he wants to run for a public office in Punta Gorda. He could run for sheriff, he could run for mayor, he could run for anything. He's already done it once, he can probably do it again. He is a public figure, he is a politician. And you, as a citizen of this great country, the United States of America, have the right to exercise your First Amendment against these politicians, against these public figures. And I encourage everybody to do it. Just don't be violent. And, I'm sorry, Andy. It's free speech, man. If you don't like what other people have to say, then stay at home. Go clean them houses with your wife, man.